Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Career Conversations here at the University of California, Merced. We're here today by a very special guest with a very innovative company, really going to explore with you today about that innovative company, skill sets, as well as experiences that you may want to note for being competitive for this innovative company in the future. We host career conversations here at University of California, Merced, to help connect you, the student, with some amazing organizations that really are seeking you out for possible internships, full-time careers, or just want to give you advice on the career world. We're today joined by Karen Valentine, who's with Microsoft, who will be speaking with you today about and exploring with you that career world. Welcome, Karen. Hope that that your plane ride virtually was okay. And thank you for joining us today. My first question I have for you, and this is the question that everyone gets in an interview 95% of the time. First question right out of the gate is, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Robert. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here. Oh gosh, where do I begin? So, a little bit about myself. I was born in the US to immigrant parents. That's kind of where it all started. My parents came over in the 70s, and I went to school. I did my undergrad in Nebraska at Creighton University. I studied international relations, and then I really wanted to be in the Foreign Service. I really wanted to learn languages, and so I went to grad school while I took the Foreign Service exam. At grad school at the University of Denver, I studied international intercultural communications, a dual degree between comms and international studies. I loved everything about it. Unfortunately, the Foreign Service exam did not work out for me, but I did land an internship, thank goodness. I had to choose between a paper and an internship, and I don't know about you guys, but I was sick of papers. So I took the internship at an advertising agency that did international advertising. And from there, I had a springboard into digital advertising, where Microsoft called me a year after the internship at the same company that hired me and wanted me to come on board to compete with Google. That was back in 2005. And at Microsoft, I've been there since 2005 with a couple of boomerang stints in between. For those of you who don't know what a boomerang is, means that I left the company and come back, thus the boomerang. And at Microsoft, I've done a lot of different things. I started out in digital advertising and sales. Then I went into marketing and sales marketing. And I loved when new employees came to the company because I got to teach them and be that buddy. And I really love to get the groups together and show them how to do things or better ways to do things. And from there, I really wanted to be a trainer, so to teach others, either employees or clients. And since 2020 at Microsoft, I joined the Management Excellence team. And on the Management Excellence team, I own programs that help 28,000 managers at Microsoft be better humans, deliver better conversations, give and receive feedback. And so that's the short version about myself and about how I got to today.
Fantastic. What an interesting story. And you're part of such a great innovative company as well. And your organization is one of those pioneering organizations which really helped establish how we live contemporarily. If you think about it, the digital world, the workplace, and tying us all together. That's something that Microsoft was really pioneering on a lot since the 80s and even earlier.
Yeah.
Within your company, what types of trends are you currently seeing for the future?
Well, that's an excellent segue into what we're really focusing on today. Back in the 80s, back in the 90s, our mission was to put a computer on every desk around the world. And now our mission is to empower every person and every organization to do more, to be better. And how are we doing that? Many of you have seen in the news or have read that AI and chatbots and the like are becoming really popular. And so, really, the usage of AI, excuse me, In my line of work, in my industry within Microsoft, I don't work on hardware. I don't work on software. I'm actually in an HR function. And for those of you out there who think of HR, maybe you think about interviewing or hiring. It's not just that. It's actually a lot about learning and development and how we educate the employees, how we skill them, and how do we know that we're bringing in the right talent, and how do we know that we're developing the right talent. So AI in the usage of HR in learning and development, there's a few things going on here and what's happening in the company. What we're doing with this AI technology is it's really helping us become more efficient in developing content. Instead of, having the content coming out of our brains, we can use AI as an assistant to develop these courses. We can also augment our subject matter experts. Typically, we've gone outside the company to hire business psychologists and a lot of experts that we don't have within the company. Well, we can still do that, but we can also use AI to augment our experts. There's also lots of trends in adaptive learning and personalized learning. So if you're taking a class and you get something right or get something wrong, or there's something challenging for you, AI will gather that information on the activities and the people that you're meeting and supplement your learning experience. It's really cool and it happens in the moment. And then lastly, collaborative learning is something that really focusing on. And what's collaborative learning? It's identifying who else do you need to reach out to or to learn from in order to get you where you need to go to reach your goals. So that's how, in my industry within Microsoft, that's how we're thinking about and sometimes using AI.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think it's the next great big thing. I mean, even with the internet, that was a huge deal. Microsoft existed even prior to its mass use, and so you're seeing really another great step forward. And Microsoft was pretty quick and sort
We
of
try to be.
adapting to that marketplace, and so
We try.
it was really great to see. And you see a lot of that space really diving in and exploring what that can do. On the idea of some of those trends, how can some of our current students prepare to adapt to some of those new trends? What can they do right now to prepare for that? There's a lot of predictive learning. There's a lot of implementation on that. You mentioned the collaborative learning experience. I think that's
Mhm.
all really incredible for a 21st century world.
Yeah, right now, I know many of you out there, excuse me, you use search. You use search in your day to day on your phones or on your desktops or on your laptops or on any devices. Start playing around with the tools right now, like ChatGPT. Go on Bing. Form an opinion on the pros and the cons of using this as a co-pilot in your learning or just in your day to day in your life. So I really become familiar with the tools, play around with them, dig deeper into the downfalls of these tools because if machines are learning the wrong things, they think that they're right. Now you as a human, you've gone to class, history, you ideally you would know, that 1 + 1 = 2. But if the bot is telling you that 1 + 1 = 3, dig deeper on why are they giving you, why is the return incorrect. So form an opinion. It's great for you to know what's out there and to know the pros and cons. Also, don't be afraid of mass job displacement. Let me tell you, think about when ATMs became popular or a cashless economy became popular. There was a lot of fear a lot of people would be left behind, or there was a lot of fear that ATMs would replace the human side of things. When in fact, when ATMs came into existence, it actually increased the number of people in banking, increased the number of services, and made other companies competitive because they provided that one-on-one white glove service. And then lastly, think about the psychological effects of only interacting with a system versus a human. How can you increase your people skills, your human skills to really make you competitive as well? So not only know the limitations and capabilities of these tools, but of yourself as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good advice. Almost like a reverse engineering sort of process to perfect this revolutionary new tech that's coming out. I think all the engineers in the audience are sort of giddy about that, about really going after and reverse engineering the process and seeing what they can do to make it stronger. I think they're working on a couple of those right now. Um, in terms of experiences, skill sets that Microsoft typically seeks when hiring interns or new employees, uh, what could you what advice can you give our students regarding that?
I mean, there's no one thing. I would say that there's many experiences, many things. It's important to understand our mission and why you believe that Microsoft culture is a good fit for you. So, why us versus another tech company? Do your research. There's a lot of folks that come into our organization and other competitive organizations know that there's a big push on philanthropy, on what you value and how your values match up to the company that you work for. So, what can you bring to our company? We hear a lot about what employees want, like career development, but what are your unique skills, perspectives, and experiences that will contribute to our tapestry? So, it's really the different experiences that you have, regardless of if they're professionally related or not. Those are important. We want our products and services to reflect our users and our customers. And so, we're always looking for diverse experiences and skill sets.
I think that's exciting. Here at UC Merced, a lot of our students do have those backgrounds of just a number of different experiences that you don't really get in a lot of other places. And so I think our students would be excited about that because they know that they have a lot to offer. My next question that I have for you uh, is in regards to having a technology background to actually join Microsoft. You talk a lot about this next step in Microsoft, this pioneering frontier. But do you actually have to have a background in technology to join Microsoft?
Absolutely not. It's a common misconception. Of course, if you're in engineering and you're being hired for a particular coding language or particular skill sets, but even when I was hired way back when, I even thought like, are they sure they're calling the right person? Because what business do I have working at Microsoft? What's great about any company, in fact, not just Microsoft, is that you're hired for a particular reason. There's a lot of things that you can be taught. If you're a good listener and you're coachable and you learn and you love to learn and love to be curious, then there's nothing, there's nothing holding you back. So I would say if you're sitting there thinking, this is not for me, there's no way I'm a creative. What do I have to do at Microsoft? Please take a look to see what we have to offer for you. We want the creatives. We want folks with different experiences. We can teach you the fundamentals of AI and of Azure and of machine learning, but we want those unique skill sets and personalities and all of that. So great question. I love getting that. Even my own parents think, oh, can you fix my laptop? I'm like, that's not what I do. But you work at Microsoft, Dad. That's not what I do.
That sounds great. I know a lot of our students are wondering that because they're looking at this change in technology and they're really excited about where we're going, but they may not have the coding background, they may not have the engineering background. They may be more interested in social sciences and writing and the humanities, and so it's really exciting to hear that there's room for them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Our next question sort of personalizes this process. This is a special question that everyone gets. It's a question that um, we have different answers to, and it's controversial in that everyone has a different favorite ice cream flavor. Now, for me, the flavor of bubblegum is the bane of my existence. It is like the arch rival in my life. Why? Because if I'm going to eat bubblegum, I might as well just chew bubblegum. Why lick an ice cream and then swallow that flavor? It doesn't make sense to me. Why eat bubblegum? Uh so my question for you is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor and why is it not bubblegum?
Well, it's not bubblegum, but in defense of bubblegum ice cream, it doesn't lose its sweetness or its flavor. When you actually chew bubblegum over time, you have to spit it out. But, anyway, I digress. My favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip. I am one of those weirdos that loves the mintiness. It does not taste like toothpaste to me. The spicier, the better. And the chunkier the chocolate chips, the better. It gets it stuck in your teeth so you can, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
And I think that's actually my favorite flavor too.
Is it?
I think it's a common favorite flavor. It's so great. Um, but bubblegum, I mean, you don't go to like an ice cream shop and say, "Give me the bubblegum flavored ice cream." Uh, so all right, you heard it here. Mint chocolate chip
Yep.
is the flavor. So back to really Microsoft in the future. What are you most excited for in the future at Microsoft? Why is now the time to work in the space?
My gosh, this space technology is shifting at the speed of light. And even as a company, we're shifting very heavily to how we can ethically and most efficiently and best use AI and these technologies to the better for the better of humanity. And what better way to contribute to your community and to humanity than by leaning in to this discomfort. I know that this is new for everyone. When the internet was new, it was uncomfortable for many, regardless of what age you were or are. And so that's what's most exciting for me is what will we do with this and how will we do it well and right the first time? And I think now is the time to move into the space, not only at Microsoft, but in any industry that I think this could make more efficient and help everyone at the same time.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's a really interesting space that is starting to open up. It reminds me of the early days of the .com
Yeah.
boom when a lot of websites started coming up and commercializing the web space. It was really interesting time for business. Um, how can students get started with your organization? What next steps do you recommend right now? So, let's say students really want to work for Microsoft. I'm pretty sure there's going to be quite a few students that would be interested in such an opportunity. What do you recommend that they do in terms of their next steps? Where do they go? What do they do to reach out? Any advice that you can give on that front?
Absolutely. We have a lot of wonderful internship programs. And so if you have a pen and paper out or you're typing, go to careers.microsoft.com and click on the Students and Graduates tab. And that way you can search for student jobs, learn more about applying for internships at Microsoft. And if you want to learn more, you can check out the Life at Microsoft tab. I love that place. That's where you can get a feel for our culture, read stories from our own employees, and learn about our diversity and inclusion initiatives and how we think about flexible work.
Fantastic, and I know that mentorship is and guidance is so key to a lot of developing and gaining access. So really appreciate your time, your thoughts, and your advice to our student population and more that may be viewing this video right now. Want to thank you for coming in and having this great conversation with me. Sounds like there's some exciting opportunities over at Microsoft. Sounds like there's a huge paradigm shift that awaits us
Yeah.
in technology. I can't wait to see where we go with this. Can't wait to see how we grow as a planet from this. And really appreciate your time here today. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having me. This is great.
And students, if you're interested in looking at other career conversations, please click on our links that will be displayed on the screen shortly. Thank you.